Undergrunt Podcast Network.
Please, Sheriff, you'll see where we dug it up.
Well, he must have got chilly in the night and pulled the dirt back over.
That's not right.
Somebody covered it up.
I've got to see it.
Freeze it, psycho.
Now see what you done.
You made my deputy draw his revolver.
He's been dying to try out his marijuana laser scope.
Wherever the red dot goes, you bang.
In a small little ship in the center of Mars was a sack of souls with experiment scars. When the psychedelic monk said, I'll take two, and he put them in a rocket and he ate a lot of glue. And he shot them straight to Earth when they turned into babies. They were named from that, and they rarely got rabies. And the monk made a movie of their whole entire lives. They were panoramic scenes and zooms of the time. And one time Bob had sex with a ladle, and one time Matt lost a vet to a cradle, and another time Bob caught a dinosaur mom, and another time Matt bought a replica of Guam. And all this more is on a DVD set, only $20.99 with the purchase of a gem. But if you call right now and say, where's my whisk, we'll include this bonus disc.
I'm pushing play in 3, 2, 1, play. All right, we're good. Hi, I'm Bob Rose.
I'm Matt PA.
And I am Shawn Jones.
And we're watching Shawn Jones's movie. Shawn?
Camp Killer. Here we go.
I forgot the title.
Yeah. It was not generic enough. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll try harder next time.
I know.
It is pretty generic.
Yeah,
It's incredibly generic. I think that's the point.
Yeah.
It's the point, yeah. Yeah, so this is a movie based on something you made when you were a kid, which we've all seen.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to tell a new story, but I had this insane backstory that I could kind of feed into with these dumb little shorts that I made when I was a little kid. So we use that, and it's kind of adds an extra just level of insanity to your traditional slasher movie, because it all sounds like it came from a sugar-addled 12-year-old, because it was just
it's a meta movie to begin with, right? And it's kind of meta in your own life.
Yes. And I mean, it just all the characters are, pieces of my own id, I guess, and it all comes together into this weird.
That means that Shawn wants to
thing.
murder people.
It does.
I mean, you wouldn't make
Kangas
sick
can't be the
crap
only
like
one,
this.
right?
You wouldn't make sick shit like this unless you were sick. You're
Right.
fucking sick in the head. I can make
true.
fun of you in this, right?
You can make fun of me.
We're allowed to make fun of Shawn. All right. I didn't know that.
I'm here, so I can take it. So here we are in the woods of Westminster. We've got Pat Stork and John Bennett having a little conversation here.
I got a question.
Okay.
Explain that hat.
Explain that hat.
where the fuck is that?
I've never
Okay.
asked you about that hat, but dude, what is with that hat?
Are you trying to make it timeless?
Yes. Yes, it's timeless. No, actually, what happened was that we molded Pat's head for the decapitation. It's going to get even better. And the mold didn't work. So we ended up having to use a spare head that Mark Wenger had of himself, but it had hair on the top of it. So we needed to put a hat on it to cover up the fact that it was somebody else's head.
So you got the most obnoxious hat you could
The day of shooting, that was the hat. It was either that hat or a German soccer hat. And that hat seemed to be the one that spoke. That spoke to me more.
It's a real
Like
odd choice.
Like he's
It
ready
is.
to
Pat
go.
hates that hat. He really wanted to burn it after the shoot. I wouldn't let him. I'm like, oh, we might have to reshoot, so I'm not gonna
He looks
burn
like
it.
he's ready to go to either the zoo or Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of like the bro male, so he's it fits. It fits his personality. And just in case anybody notices or cares, the shirt that he has is a reference to my previous movie, Corpus Christi. The monkey was the gold idol that they had at the during the movie, and at the end of the movie they reveal that it's the gold idol. And
Easter egg.
Yeah, it's an Easter egg. And they talk about the Baltimore, Canada murders here, and that's also a reference
to
Corpus.
To Corpus,
Yeah,
okay.
right,
which Pat was also in.
Which Pat was also in.
Yeah.
Like my first instinct was to have Pat and Stoney be the two pair, but I think John just plays the role.
Stoney is from Corpus too.
Stoney is also from Corpus Christi. Yes. John is just great in the role. I mean, he has to kind of play the crazy Ralph and the guy kind of slowly going insane, and if I had somebody in that role that could not pull off that snap when he leaves the movie universe, none of the opening would really work.
Yeah.
So
John kind of steals the scene here.
I was super lucky to have him agree to do this.
He's that
and
character, though. He's the character that steals the scene.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay, go.
How is that woman's hot dog ever going to get cooked at that distance?
It is not.
Have you
it
not?
doesn't.
Have you not been camping, Sean?
I'm
every
sorry,
time,
it's just like I got ripped right out of the movie, worried about this hot dog and salmonella poisoning and shit like that.
Every time we tried to get any
That's how they
closer
all
to the
die.
fire, things would start burning or melting, and the hot dogs would actually like fall off the sticks every time we tried to actually cook one. What happened was that we shot this night 2 of our shoot.
You did this in 4 days, right?
We shot the whole movie in 4 days. 2 of those days were 19-hour days.
But you had a pickup day too. You can
We
count that.
had 3 special effects pickups. We had later in the movie you'll see one of our wonderful associate producer Heidi gets her face ripped off, that was a good 2-hour shoot.
Okay.
To do the effect and shoot the effect. Chris Kamish from Driven to Succeed. We actually took a second on the Driven to Succeed set and choked him with a hookah. And Kathy Carson, his co-star in Driven to Succeed, we laid her down on the grass, and then I put a strobe effect on to be the other side of the electrocuted girl later. But that's all we did outside of the main shoot.
You could have if you sliced off another 3 days, you could have been Roger Corman.
I know.
Like you didn't want to reach for greatness, did you, Sean?
Originally, hey, believe me, 4 days. That's
Yeah, dude, that's really short for a feature.
It's leisurely, leisurely paced. The fire. Just one more thing about it is that it had rained all day. So the reason they're so far away from the fire is that we had to get it so hot to even get it to
stay lit.
That it was like melting everybody at that point, because originally it was just like going to be a small campfire with them just sitting directly around it.
Does Pat have a Ghostbusters tattoo?
Yeah.
He does. We had to be real careful about only showing half of it.
How did I never notice that
He's got
before?
Blues
often do you
Brothers
see Pat
and
with a shirt on?
I don't
Ghostbusters.
ever. So I guess yeah.
Yeah.
He's also got a film strip on his leg that has.
I've seen that. Yeah.
All the movies that he's made, except it's only got the driver on it.
I got a question, horror movie logic wise.
Okay.
So, like, do they need to have sinned for him to have killed them?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, is smoking weed a sin?
Smoking weed is a sin.
That
in this
is a
movie.
sin.
And they talk about it later. That
Isn't he vaping
he's
weed?
lucky. He's vaping weed.
Yeah.
Because
they're
it's much easier than
using
rolling a
marijuana.
bunch of joints.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So this takes place now. I mean, right? Like,
Right.
A vaping wouldn't make sense otherwise. Okay.
And that's also why we have the first line of the movie is him talking about not getting any cell phone reception. So
Right.
we don't have to worry about that for the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
So,
yes.
somebody
Get it out
should
of the
make a
way.
super cut on YouTube of every horror movie where somebody says the cell phones
Right.
are out.
Yeah. Well, there's no signal out here. We'll never be able to use these.
Sure.
Right. I bet you could make like a 10-minute
Oh,
cut
it'd be
of those.
long.
It
Oh,
would,
yeah.
No, it would be like an hour and a half.
Dude, I've watched enough things on Netflix about things in the woods where that happens.
Because
It'd
I
be
mean,
long.
think about it. Like all the scripts, if you're writing a script between 1995 and now, you
have to worry
you have
about
to
it.
Cell
You have to
phones ruin
incorporate-
everything.
Right, cell
It
phones
sucks.
really do ruin
I've seen
horror
like
logic.
supercuts of people like, what if cell phones existed in other movies? You know, where like Kevin McAllister would just get a phone call from his mom. Like,
Right.
Are you home?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Stay where you are. Here's
Why
your,
they never just
someone
call
here's
the
the
house?
PayPal. Order a pizza.
Why didn't they just call that? That's the
you look.
camp killer.
I never fucking thought about that ever. No one else in the family called the house.
What was the reason that you can't call the house? There was a reason. wasn't
there-
there?
Maybe.
How? What possible? He's using the phone the whole movie anyway. God damn it! You blew my mind. Stupid garbage.
That's great.
So here we
That
are.
sign
Can't
is
believe
one of my
that sign.
favorite jokes in the movie. It's great.
Why is that? Tell me. Why do you like that joke?
Because
is it just it's a ridiculous name, or
No, just because it's a great pun. It's a
Oh.
pun of, you know what I mean? It's a good pun. He doesn't use that many. They talk about puns, but when he's actually killing people in the movie.
you like the post line?
Yeah,
later.
the post line.
I
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
I
yeah,
see.
yeah.
Yes, and the sign is like my favorite special effect in the movie because it's just paper. It's
no,
paper glued onto
also,
foam cord.
Yeah, no, it's obviously
when you
not
brought
there.
it
It's
into
great.
the screening, I that's the only time I saw it like really in bright light, and I was like,
Right.
man, that does not look like it does in the movie.
No.
The lighting here really sells that it's wood, but it does not look like that.
And like getting it together, I had bought this this paint that was like super thick and viscous paint, and like it got on my hands and closed all the pores in my hand, so it looked like I had like a huge rash that day of shooting.
Really?
Like it wouldn't come off. Yeah, it was crazy. I had to like use Brillo pads to get it off of me.
Oh my god, you're like Buddy Epps.
Because the sides
Wizard of Oz.
the sides actually looked, when we shot at least, looked like wood, until it started to break apart.
Melissa's tattoo is almost an Easter egg, sort of, right?
Is it?
It's like Call Girl Cthulhu tattoo.
Oh, is that what that is?
The entire crew got those.
Oh,
so.
I see.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So that's trivia for me.
That's true.
It's
Okay, well,
I'm
there you
learning
go.
things on this commentary.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's a little Easter egg for another friend movie. There you go.
Right.
So I feel like we're coming up on the gratuitous breast shot. That's unbelievably gratuitous because
There's two. There's a
But
scene.
I feel like this one is pretty like unnecessary.
Well, no. I mean, there's
But that goes with the meta fact that that's
Yeah.
supposed to be like those movies.
Yeah,
everything is
yeah.
gratuitous. But I like the fact that it's gratuitous without being like it's quick. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
like
no.
she doesn't like jump up and down after she,
No,
it's just like
Come on,
But
Shawn, you should have had her do some
gratuitous
jumping
in, like,
jacks.
that would have been too much. You're right.
Yeah, there'll be another scene with Billy and Steph, and then it'll come back, and then that gratuitous shot, and then it cuts to the other gratuitous shot. So
Okay.
it's all
right.
all the nudity is taken care of, except for the fact that every time you see nudity for the rest of the film, it's Sam's bust. Because the same bust that we used to do the pole effect, we reused in 3 other kills.
Okay.
During the course of the movie. So
Like the neck slice?
No, that's actually Jackie.
Okay.
But when the girl gets electrocuted, that's also the same bust that had the pole through it.
Oh,
And when the girl's getting stabbed later, that's also the same bust.
Every bust in this universe.
Every
looks
bust in this
exactly
universe
the
is
same.
Sam's. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's true equality.
right,
This doesn't take place on Earth. It takes place in a movie universe. so.
it's true.
So how come they address the fact that like he knows about it and he talks about it, but he's still there?
Right.
Is there like a curse involved? Is that part of the curse?
There's a curse involved. Basically, what happens is that everything when there's a movie, when Camp Killer 17 happens, the survivor goes out into the world, tells her story. The story spreads, and people hear the story, but they kind of forget that it actually happened, and then they are drawn to the camp.
To be killed.
And once you're in the bubble of the town, you kind of forget that the rest of the world exists.
Okay.
It's
It's a little Freddy almost there,
yeah,
too.
it's a little bit like Springwood and Freddy's Dead, where it's its own.
Did you ever consider
universe.
any other, or adding like a number to the title? Like Camp Killer 17?
I thought
You know what
about
I mean?
it. I mean, like, okay, if we really want to get trivia, I originally wrote this script in 96, maybe end of 95, and it completely different plot. The first 20 minutes, however, were always the same. Like this scene has pretty much been this scene for 20 years. And originally it was Camp Killer 17, I think.
Okay.
And basically what would happen was that after Sam gets the pole through her, then it would cut to the cast of the actual movie watching it in the movie theater.
Oh, man.
And then the movie would start from there.
So you were going to go like actual meta. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And well,
That almost sounds like Rubber or something.
original-
Rubber, when the audience is watching it.
the original plot of the movie was basically a horror fiend gets into a car accident, and he's got a gag book of how to be a serial killer, and he has amnesia, but he also has that book, so he thinks that book is real and for him, and he tries to kill people at a party.
Oh, okay.
That was the
That's
original.
completely different.
That's the original plot. Like the same themes will happen during the course of the movie. The rake scene that we'll see later was in that version of the movie, except it happened with the kid instead of Davy. Because Davy was just a fictional character in that version of the movie.
Right. So here it is.
There it
That's
is.
a good pun.
I'm glad that you like the puns because they're kind of terrible. And I added the shake that you see when he puts the post through because you have to keep things still for the effect. Is actually the makers of Deadpool released.
I have that. Yeah.
Effects, and that's the one that we ended up using.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just camera movement.
I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, it's
just
great. I
like-
use it all the time, actually.
yeah. Just because you get these static shots that don't look quite natural, quite like the fire there looks almost like we've CGI'd the fire
It's
because,
not, yeah.
well, it's also because this is downgraded from the 2K. I have to be really careful when I do the master for the Blu-ray because to keep the lighting set and the fire, it's such a delicate balance to not make it look like CGI smoke.
So I got a question.
Sure.
And I know you've been asked this before, but how old are these people supposed to be? Because we know them personally, so we know how old they are.
Originally, it was supposed to be teenagers or just like college-age students, but I upped the age to 30s when we started casting, even when we started casting Melissa, just like, I got to just bring it up. It's just, dudes in the woods, and that's why Jimmy makes the comment when she's first in the jail is like, I don't know why a 30-year-old doesn't have a fucking driver's license.
Right. Right. Yeah. Also, it kind of makes sense too because you're kind of playing with the fact that this happens when the legend's been there for like 40 some years.
Right.
So these people have been around, sort of.
Yeah.
And and as John says, I guess they should know better.
Exactly.
They should know better than to be doing this.
And that's what happens is that basically because he knew the story, he's able to kind of snap himself out of it, but it's too late at this point. Now, this would never happen, even 5 sequels ago, but at this point, kind of the magic is weakening, so it's gives him an advantage. It gives Melissa an advantage when she's got to do what she's got to do a little bit later. And of course, I had to make a Demolition Man reference here,
Right?
Because everybody loves those.
Have you because from people that don't know John and Pat and all them?
Yeah, people love John. Like I've had a lot of compliments about him. Just from people who just don't know us at all.
Yeah, it's always hard when you know everybody.
Right. Well, that's whenever I'm in post-production on anything, my first goal is to show it to as many people that don't know me directly as I can, because that's the only way you're going to get honest feedback on stuff. And he's just so great there. I mean, really...
it's like funny for us on like 3 different levels.
Right.
It's like because it's John, it's
sure.
Former guest of the show.
So, I think everybody. Well, yeah, most.
Except for Melissa.
Melissa hasn't been on yet.
No, I've been trying. I want to get her and Chris.
Okay.
I want
double
with the La Martinez. That's what I want.
I see.
Yeah.
I love the hot dog gag too.
Yes.
Done.
That's my favorite cut in the movie.
Fuck.
I just love that he's just like, oh, he's dead.
Yeah. Couldn't afford it. Here you go.
Well, there's like no sound or anything. It's just he is dead. Just accept it.
Yeah.
So I saw a lot of the back of the head of that dummy head. Where was the hair?
It's under the hat. That's why we have the hat.
They just we shoved it in the hat.
Yeah, we just shoved all the hair in the hat. You can't. It has a goatee on it, but you can't. It happens so fast. It's dumb trivia, but it only took 2 takes to bounce it like that.
Nice.
You would think that would be like a 30 take.
Thing.
I love this too.
Yeah,
the constant
Scooby Doo. Well, this is
Scooby Doo without doors, which kind of makes it even funnier because it's like. Where? What?
This is.
Are they just running in a straight line where we have to look at it at a million angles?
Right. Well, yeah. This is the chase from Friday the 13th Part 2. With Jenny.
Is it scene for scene?
Not quite scene for scene, but it's exactly the.
You didn't pull it up on your cell phone and like
no. No. And we didn't have the right kind of bush for her duck on there. Originally, honestly, it went on even longer where she ducked behind another bush first, but. I decided let's a little bit of brevity. That's the only thing that's cut out. I think that we shot too. And originally, like we were gonna have a run by a lake that was down a little bit further, but it was just this was already like 1 a.m. So
how wet? How much water was sprayed on him for 4 days?
Like blood, you mean, or just
no?
Like,
just he always just glistening. He's just like his hair is always glistening.
That outfit. Keep in mind, it's hot. It's what we shot this.
Well, the mask itself has a glaze to it.
Yeah.
it's got a veneer, and his hair is kind of a shiny hair.
And he's wearing like 3 or 4 layers of clothing.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
got that outfit that AG made, which we we composed the outfit, and then she did all the aging
right.
on it, which looks awesome.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's like the jacket. And
His
then,
hair is
like, 2
just
shirts.
always so wet. It's
Yeah.
like awesome.
Yeah. It's the look of Davey in this is great. Anders did just such a great job with the mask. I mean, like, and I was looking back.
It's a world-class mask, man.
The
really
day
is.
the day that we're recording this is the anniversary of the start of the Kickstarter. So we're 1 year away from Matt PA deciding to donate.
Within I saw it. I was waiting.
Right.
I saw it.
Were you the
He
first
posted.
donator?
Yeah.
He was number
Oh,
1.
damn. I didn't
I was
know that.
there. As soon as he posted, I was like, all right, I did it. I'm done.
So like, and
Now I never have to hear about it again.
And yeah, here I am.
here we are a year later. One
That's
year
how,
I
later.
didn't know it
how
was anniversary.
Kickstarters
I
work, though.
brought a
You
cake.
donate so you can just completely
Right.
kind of
Well,
divorce
I'm like,
yourself.
I can
did
block
that.
it from my feed
Or
now.
you don't donate and you just keep sharing it, and
Right.
that's your donation. Yeah.
Exactly.
What? No. I talked to Jimmy George,
it's
filmmaker Jimmy George, and I was like, dude, I didn't donate to their recent campaign. I was like, but I'm going to share it every day. He was like, that's fine with me. He's like, that'll actually get more money for me
Right.
than you just donating once. He's like,
Yeah.
you know enough people where it'll generate. Quick tip.
Quick tip. Pro tip.
Pro tip. Well, this was funded by
Sharing.
Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
Yeah,
how this
it's
movie's
pretty
funded.
amazing.
Yeah.
How much did you raise?
We raised $11,000.
That's great.
for it.
And your goal was 10, right?
Our
So
goal was 10.
So you went over. That's
we went
awesome.
over a
man.
little bit.
What was the total budget all said and done?
Well, I mean, after Kickstarter takes their fees, you're already
Yeah.
down to 8,000. So,
Okay.
Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
So is
we-
that the budget of
this
the
was
movie?
tight. The budget of the movie would be 8. The amount of
did
money we
not-
actually spent on the movie was 8,000, and like really the budget of the movie, you're also taking out, $1,000 of that for perks. So
Right.
now we're down to 7,000, and then
So this movie's a $7,000 movie shot in 4 days.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, not bad. And my favorite part was that we were able to incorporate all a good number of the backers in the Kickstarter kills at the beginning. I thought that was a fun thing that I've never
Was
seen
Chris LaMartine?
anybody do it. Yeah,
Over his
yeah.
I like that it
credit.
says Melissa LaMartina.
I tried to pair
Ew.
I tried to pair the spouses with each other.
Yeah.
So that's John Bennett's cuck or something? Who was
Yeah,
that guy?
yeah. That's-
So they took these pictures?
yeah, I had them take these pictures, except for Chelsea. That's my stepfather who showed me Friday the 13th Part 2 when I was like only
Nice.
That's Chelsea, right?
There's Chelsea,
3 or
right?
4. Yeah.
she
She
just
came
went-
over, and like I have that gray wall, so I just shot people in front of the gray wall if they were
I
able to
gotcha.
come over. Chris, who had the skate, I also did that for him. But yeah, most of them are just they just sent me their death picture, and I just made it work.
I like
with,
I like that you posterized all the photos.
Yeah, I mean, I just
Well, because it kind of feels like an 80s kind of video game
Right,
type
right.
thing. I don't know. It's kind of a time period thing.
well, I wanted to give it not
That's
only
what the
I wanted to-
hat made it timeless, Bob. Don't you
Right.
see? You
The
can't question
hat really-
anything after the hat.
The hat really
Anything
does.
can happen after that hat. Don't you see?
I
The
wanted to
hat
give
like
it
opened
a,
it to different universes.
Yeah.
a style, and then make the Photoshop stuff that we're doing. You don't have to worry about photorealism if you're posterizing.
Do you still have
And
the hat?
Jimmy, yeah, I still have the hat.
You should put it in anything else you
Yeah,
make.
yeah, of course.
The hat needs to be in everything from now on.
Jimmy,
It's
actually
your broken
did
laptop.
the final, like the gore part of the Photoshop stuff. So he's the one that I told him.
Wait, did that guy sent that in as a kill pic?
No,
him looking at,
that's-
okay, I was gonna say
No,
him
the
looking
Melty
at
Man,
an engine.
The Melty Man is Pat Stork because that's the failed head mold
That's
that we
the failed
did.
head mold.
Ah.
So I'm like, fuck. I spent $400 on this fucking thing. I'm gonna use it in my fucking movie.
Yeah.
So I put it as a Photoshop kill.
So that costs 400. That's okay.
It's expensive to
Yeah.
all the materials
Mm.
and the white flash. Obviously,
That was your
Friday
right,
the 13th.
That title card right there was your Astronaut Jones moment.
Oh yeah,
When
yeah.
Tracy Morgan did everything.
Right. It was tough too because I
Yeah.
mean, it's like I also produced it, and
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
like, how much stuff do I want to put in wrong credit? I don't even need to talk about the other stuff. I've
Yeah.
got the copyright notice at the end. That's all people need to really know. But
That's the boring
you have
stuff.
you have to tell people that you wrote it and edited it. Just
They need to know who to blame.
right, exactly,
Right, yeah.
exactly.
Where to
Yeah.
send
Need to
all the
point the
letters.
fingers.
The letter.
Well, I think Yeah, the first comment that we get is that, you know, like, the sound was really weird in the jail. It's like, it actually is the breathalyzer, which you're not allowed to turn off. It's that bubbling thing in the back.
Dude,
That's the honest, natural noise that the dumb thing makes.
I almost wish they were
You
sitting
weren't
out.
allowed to turn
It's
it off.
authentic.
When you first showed me the movie, you didn't say anything about it for the first half of the scene, and I was
Right.
like, was that a prop? And I thought it was like supposed to be like a scientist lab or something.
Right.
You know, like there's like if you just look to the left, there's gonna be a bunch of cauldrons and bubbling like like beakers and all this shit.
I think that's what's kind of awesome about it, is that, like, for such a scrappy little movie, we like have pretty good production value. We have the real
That's a
jail.
real police station.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, they've shot like House of Cards and some other stuff there.
Yeah.
So they just don't ever have prisoners?
They didn't. It's Habit of Grace. So, you know, what is,
Everyone there is not. They can't sin. It's
Yeah.
insane.
and basically the rule is that, you know, if somebody needs to come in, your shooting day is done. But, you know, other than that, they were just cared about the shift change.
So this was a free location.
This is a free location. Yeah,
good to know.
Wow, that's
we
cool.
probably shot in there a little longer than we were supposed to, but I mean, this was the last half day of shooting, so we were pretty tuckered out at this point. I think we did pickups at the farm after this, the night after this, but that was it.
Okay. Still, it's a good location, especially for free.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, all the locations. I mean, the Yellow Sign Theater looks awesome, and what I really like about the Yellow Sign is that it's been in a couple of Chris's movies, and it looks completely different in our movie. You know, it's
Yeah. I shot a commercial there once
right
for
right.
Bros.
Nice.
And now it's going to be a restaurant, so you might be the last.
It could be.
You might
That's
be the
what
last
I do.
thing shot there. So.
That's what I do. I go to bars and restaurants and I shoot there, and then
Nice.
that's like the only memory of it, because in Corpus we had CVP and it burned down like
Oh, man.
before we released the movie.
That's your superpower.
Yeah, that's my.
You want to
Destroy
destroy a building, you got to
restaurants.
shoot a movie.
Don't let us shoot there. The building will burn. No, I hope not.
Hey, there's Zaccardi. Zaccardi's
Yeah.
here.
He's great. He's wonderful. The only thing that like we weren't able to do is get him to grow the porn stash.
Porn,
that
yeah.
the character required, but he more than makes up for it with his clicking and.
Was
other
this
nonsense.
was his performance? Was that you, him, both? Was
Both, I would say. He pretty much, took his own flavor on what was already there. I mean, that's basically, that's generally how I write and how I cast, is I want the person that fits the role in my mind.
that- Right.
So there's very little pushing I have to do. Oh, there's some major special
Oh,
effects. from
yeah.
Bob Rose.
Oh.
This is $1 million movie now.
So yeah, so much.
I do love his mime work here. It's just like, pad out the running time. Pad out the running time. You're going to get up real slow.
Are you just admitting you're padding out the running time right now?
Yeah.
I love
You have
it.
to get to 80 minutes.
That's right.
Get
You
that
got
minute mark.
83. No, it's
What are you doing? Cut 3 more minutes.
because it's
Yes.
so
Insane.
because it's so dialogue heavy. I really did want to have quiet moments. There's some stuff back at the campfire where it's just like there's that shot that just hangs on Melissa with no dialogue for like 30 seconds. And just I want those quiet moments so people do have a chance to like breathe and collect themselves. Instead of just snap, 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 dialogue, because that just wears you down.
No breathing. No breathing.
Right. And my favorite moment in the entire movie is coming up here where Zaccardi hits the, you can see in Melissa's look where her eyes kind of narrow for a second. That's like where she decides that she's actually going to hit him in the moment. Like, because we're doing the scene and we're just like, I don't actually need you to hit him. He's like, Mike's like, all right, good. I don't really want to be hit. That's where she's just like, you know what? I directed this guy. I'm hitting him. And
That's
it
great.
works. It's great. It's an honest reaction, I think, when he starts shaking.
It's the great Victor Cord.
Victor Cord and his there's an
He
Easter
did a
egg
bunch
for
of
you.
the makeup, right?
Yeah, he did all the gore effects. He was the lead guy for all that. Basically, what I did is that I would draw what I would want and how I'd want it implemented, and he'd go. Richard Donahue offered his lab for him to build all the effects in, and he'd go and build it. He had a really short, like 2 to 3 week running time to be able to create anything. So some of it worked, some of it didn't. We were able to make everything work. So I mean, I don't think there are any effects in here that we should be embarrassed about. Except for that CGI a moment ago. I mean, that's it.
I told you, man.
Right.
I warned you.
The Easter egg there is Victor's arm. They talk about him being a cat fucker. He's got a picture of a cat, and he's got crosses for each cat that he's fucked.
And Victor actually does fuck cats, so that's like also
So
he has a lot of sex with cats. So
I thought it was bears.
Well,
I thought.
I was making a joke. You just said something real.
Well, people have to know.
Yeah, right. It's true.
So how in on it is this character?
How in on it? He's not in on it. He's completely oblivious to what's going on.
But he fucks all these chicks.
He's just an awful human being.
Yeah, he's just terrible.
Okay.
He's Tommy
He's an
Feldman.
opportunist, right? It's
Right.
yeah. That shake
A
with
mix
the hand
between,
right there.
in case. It is my favorite. I love it. I love the shake. If anybody needed it to be figured out, Tommy Feldman is Tommy from Friday the 13th, Part 4, and Feldman.
Corey
Feldman.
And so this is Ari Lehman, right?
All the Ari Lehman.
Ari.
The first Jason pops up out of the lake.
I mean, that's a big thing, right?
Yeah, no, it was awesome
Yeah.
getting him and having that direct connection to the movies. And
Now, how did that come about?
Guy. Jimmy and April, and actually I did a convention or two with him like years ago. We see everybody at these East Coast conventions, so he was just part of the conversation. He saw what we were doing. He's like, I'd love to be involved in it. And yeah, we made him an offer. We had to set that before we could, really announce anything. So that was like the first thing. We're like, I hope this Kickstarter goes well because, we've reserved.
We need that much.
Yeah, no matter what, he's coming out and shooting something.
Yeah,
man.
At
you don't make the money.
Right.
We'll shoot something with you.
Yeah. No, basically, our backup plan was that we would just shoot the bar if we hadn't made our full budget, because the bar is like it's a one-act play, so we would just do it in the same way we did do it, 4 takes and just get it, and maybe shoot the opening at some other point at a much reduced lower budget.
Now, Shawn, this is a pretty unconventional movie. Like, do you think you're gonna when this gets released wider to you have a following because of Chainsaw Sally and stuff? Do you think people are gonna dig the conversational aspect of this? That's the hardest sell of the whole movie.
It's a super hard sell, and basically the way that I constructed it was that we have these little flashback kills and stuff like that to keep the audience that may not be into the wordplay engaged during it. I certainly had a couple people be like, I could use some more of the flashback stuff, but it's
that's not the point, though.
Yeah, right. It's the Gorehounds may want more of it, and we originally had it set up in this cut. We'll watch it, but the people at home won't be seeing it. The hookah kill that you'll see during the end credits originally happened. We had a second string of flashback kills where it was arms cut off, which was really going to be you, Bob. And
we never did that.
The hookah kill, and
but the lines in there.
The lines in there.
My name.
Exactly.
You say Bob,
the lines are in there.
Yeah.
And the basketball team getting killed. The Jeepers Creepers reference. We never shot the other two, so we're just gonna cut the hookah for the main release.
Oh, really?
And that'll just be in the end credits where you see all the kills. I mean, it's fine. I love the fact that we had just enough kills to fill all the credits at the end of the movie.
Yeah. It was when we were, because this premiered at Bump Fest, which we just did, and everyone I think a lot of people assumed it was going to be like a gore fest.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the title, everything about it, and
the first 20 minutes you watch the first.
Well, yeah, there's a whole horror movie that happens, and then the titles happen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You get that out of the way. It's like, here's what you thought you were going to see. It's over, though.
I had, exactly.
About that for a while.
I had somebody come up to me after the premiere. He's just like, I thought it was just going to be that, and then it's like, and that's the whole point is that you watch this 20 minutes.
It just didn't take very long.
Right. You watch.
Yeah.
You watch the 20-minute movie. And you're like, oh, it seems to be over, and then there's a ridiculously long credit sequence 20 minutes into
This
the
is
movie
like
already.
This is like
so
reading.
I just kind of pull the rug out.
This is like reading the Metamorphosis and then reading a 4 times as long book
Right.
about what those 90 pages meant.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to do something different. Just like there's so many dumb backyard slasher movies. I mean, just like how many do you need? At this point, and it's just like
They're
everything
done.
that's been said.
It's been said. Yeah. Right.
Right. So
Well, that's like one of the biggest problems with low budget horror movies is the lull of the 2/3 of the way through. There's that huge lull of you just watching people die for no apparent reason, almost.
Right.
Like there's no more story anymore. You're just watching people die in all the wacky ways
until they kill the killer.
Yeah, and you're like, all right, and then it's over. Okay.
And originally in the first draft of this version, there's no cutaway. It's just them in the bar. It's just a straight conversation for it. It would be probably about twice as long of a conversation that it is now. And they just ran right through it into the finale. And it was just Melissa at the end instead of Melissa and April.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Basically what happened was that I locked myself in a hotel room for a week in Lancaster in the middle of the winter when nobody was there. So it was like the Shining Hotel. And April's character, Alice.
And you killed your family.
Right.
But damn it, the movie wasn't good. So
worth it.
As per our conversation before the show, totally fine.
Totally fine. As long as the art's good, it's all okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
everything's fine.
Exactly. But yeah, that's when Alice came to me, and I fell in love with that character, and that kind of makes. I think that makes the movie work is having that extra layer and being able to cut back and forth to the prison, so you're not.
She also brings the other half of the past up because he's like the evil half of the past,
Sure.
and then you bring her, and she's kind of like
both
the
sides
broken
of the
good
story.
half.
Essentially, the movie it's structured a little bit like the Doom Generation, where it's the same movie 3 times. You get the exposition at the beginning from one perspective, you get the exposition from these 2 characters, and then you get the exposition again from April.
Right.
But it's a different side of it each time, so that's why it works, and that's why you're not, oh man, I can't believe they're telling me about this again. And it's like it gets more and more ridiculous with like, my God, the 666 stuff. I'm just like, how fucking ridiculous can I make this? And you would never have to see any of it, so I could just make it as fantastical as I want to. There's my wife, Bridget Jones, getting run over by a lawnmower. And these were fun. Some of the flashback kills. Yeah. Those are also backers of higher level backers.
Like they came down.
Yeah,
and
they
filmed
actually
them?
drove down. And
Those are
filmed
the same breasts right there.
These are Sam's
go.
breasts again. Watching Victor try to paint a woman's breasts.
I thought that was
a fun day.
A funny fact was in Driven to Succeed, her nickname is Brown Nipples, and the nipples on that mole are kind of brown.
Right,
and I was like, oh, those are your tits.
Well, this does take place in the same universe,
It
right?
does take place in the same. So theoretically, the
like that.
the
It's
leads
not a
of Jones
planned
to
thing.
succeed have been murdered.
No, it's just great.
I liked how all the most of the Bumfest movies were connected.
Yeah, there's some weird
they all took place
thread.
because of Mark
Fiona.
Fiona
Yeah,
Is the news reporter.
is the news
in
reporter in
first 2.
MBZA, and
Right. So it's all the same universe, the Baltimore universe.
the Baltimore universe of film.
Baltimore.
this guy's great.
James
is he in
is
other
awesome.
stuff?
No, this is his first movie. This
Really?
is introducing James as. I met James. We were doing a revival of Silver Scream, Jimmy's first movie, and the first time I worked with him as a play. It was a play before it was a movie.
Oh wait, that was like in where was that?
That was in
Nikki
Hartford
it?
County. Yeah, Nikki was in that
Okay,
version.
yeah,
She was the
yeah,
lead in
yeah.
that version. And he was Jekyll and Hyde. So, and I saw him as that. I'm just like, oh, he's perfect. And he is just great. I mean, because he's the intense one. Jimmy's just kind of like tired of all the bullshit, and he's real super reserved. One thing I will admit about his performance, everybody's exhausted. It's just like because we're doing these 19-hour days.
Yeah.
So it's just like his instinct is to, like direct and take over. It's just like everybody's too exhausted for that. It's just your lines, say your lines, let's on to the next setup. And that worked well for the performance too. He's
got grit, man.
Yeah.
He really does. Like He just has that look in the way he says things. He's gravel in his voice.
Yeah, I think the first time we when we were workshopping it, because I mean we rehearsed this for about 2 months before we shot it. They were both more southern, and he already has the long hair and the facial hair, so I didn't want to go too Rob Zombie with it because we've seen those characters, the hillbilly, unkept hillbillies before. So he did the Slater Nicholson, and that's what I had him lean on for the performance.
Also, like, I don't know, the whole camp killer aesthetic thing. It's better not to have like a southern voice, just so it could be anywhere.
Yeah,
like
you don't want
to place that. You're narrowing down where somebody in Ohio might be like, I'm fine.
Yeah. You don't want y'all thought I abandoned my post.
Yeah. I don't think of slashers in the South anyway. I don't know why I always view them as like kind of
always mutated or inbred to the point
Texas
that they're
Chainsaw,
monsters.
I guess.
I guess Texas Chainsaw, sure, but I always view them in my mind as East Coast. I don't know why.
Right. Because Jersey, Friday the 13th.
Yeah, like that's where
you got all the fall colors in Halloween, even though it's shot in California.
I would say too, Shawn, like if I'm gonna compliment you.
Oh no.
I know, right?
I think you're probably gonna compliment Nick, but we'll see.
No. I'm gonna say that conceptually, you're on the level of like Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Oh wow!
Because I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like when you first told me about the idea, I was like, man, why didn't I think of that? And that's like the biggest compliment.
Right. Well,
I usually give anything where I'm like, fuck, I should have thought of that. Like when I saw Tucker and Dale for the first time, I was like,
yeah,
that's so simple and just like God, it's such a great idea.
And that's exactly Tucker and Dale is the original version of this, because basically what was happening, like stuff like the rake scene, wasn't told as a flashback. Basically, he was trying to kill people and fucking up and killing them anyway.
Okay.
Like he'd like trip on the rake and knock down a tree on them, and he was hiding in a bathroom and he'd slip on soap and just start flailing and stab somebody.
Okay,
like all the deaths were accidental in that version.
Did you ever see the Behind the Mask?
Yeah, the Vernon.
That's also
Leslie Vernon.
Also really meta,
that's like that kind of thing where you're like, I mean, I don't understand why it took so long for someone to make the joke about how important cardio is to these guys. Like, like I saw it and I'm laughing at it, going like, how the fuck have I not heard that joke before?
It's also in Zombieland, remember?
Yeah.
It's like it just seems like something you would have assumed,
And I definitely, like when I was making this, I tried not to rewatch stuff like Behind the Mask, and I made sure. I mean, like when this came out, of course, like when you've fallen in love with the concept and you're like shooting or you've just shot a movie, that's when you see 3 other movies that you're like, oh shit, that's
Final Girls,
right? Final Girls, and there's The Final Girl, and I'm like. I read the synopsis and I'm like, all right, this is different enough that I'm not really.
Well, The Final Girl's not a slasher thing, is it?
The Final Girls?
The Final Girl.
I think it is. Yeah, I think she's a
Final Girls
girl.
is.
Yeah, I think Final Girl is she's killing like jocks in the woods.
Oh, okay. Because Final Girls is like more. It's closer to you,
right?
As far as like what it's talking about, but it's not the same thing.
Right.
I really like Final Girls. Actually,
I still have to see it.
I really enjoy it.
My
Zaccardi did not.
Right.
Yeah, we've got that. So.
What I was trying to do with this was, even though we're paying homage to the 80s stuff, I didn't want it to... Right now, there's a big problem, at least that I have with a lot of stuff, where it's trying to look like what people think the 80s looked like.
Yeah.
And I think The Final Girls is kind of guilty of that, because like got all the neon,
It is, but then again, I wouldn't call Camp Killer a comedy.
Final Girls doesn't have zebra print fucking hats.
It doesn't have that hat. Right? But Final Girls is, I would say, it's a comedy, like straight up. Like it's not.
Oh yeah, I mean the actors in it are like.
I mean like Adam Devine's in it. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like it's a comedy more than anything.
I'm looking forward to seeing it now. Because
I liked it a lot, man.
Enough time that obviously I'm deep enough into post production that people have seen this. So they're not going to be like, oh, you were watching that other movie. No.
It's the guy who directed Harold and Kumar 3.
Oh, nice. I love Harold and Kumar 3.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm glad I can state that on this commentary.
Yeah.
That, like,
finally we know.
Right. The egg scene in 3D was so good.
He comes from College Humor. He's a pretty talented guy.
Definitely that.
Yeah. Well, directing wise.
Right. No, but I love the fact that we're able to reuse the rake scene and how we're able to cut it in and kind of like I like the way the flow of that conversation.
Odd technical question: can he get drunk?
No. No. And actually, when we were rehearsing, they tried it where like he'd get drunker and drunker as it went along. I'm just like, no, he's healing too fast. So
Okay.
You kind of touch on it in the movie, but like, okay, so he gets killed and then revives himself.
Right.
What is he doing with all the time before somebody else comes back in the woods?
Just chilling.
He's literally
out
just
in the
sitting there
woods.
staring at stuff.
He complains about it at points.
Yeah, he does.
He's like,
I
I
was
just
saying
hid
he
in the
touched on it.
fucking woods.
I want him just to be like just staring, just standing in the middle of the woods,
Right.
staring,
No, I mean
waiting.
he reads. I mean
Yeah.
he's smarter than the other characters in this movie.
Yeah.
So
Most importantly, can he get an erection? Can he have sex?
well, yes, we talk about that
Yeah,
later, don't
okay.
we? With
True.
the
Well, I figure for some reason I
SVU
assume that he can do anything when it comes
reference.
to a victim.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
But I mean, can he just have a normal life when no one's in the woods? Like, can he just?
He could, but he doesn't.
Okay.
I love it.
I want to know.
Right. The townspeople, he just stays away from the townspeople. It's basically Victor's character is the only one that really knows that he's around. That's outside of the bar,
Okay.
What alleyway is
and
that?
that is the reduced CGI. This is right behind the Club Charles. So
Oh, okay.
we are actually later on throwing around actual handguns in Baltimore City Alley, because that's a real. We did have is it the prop gun. It's just a gun that we.
It's just an
had.
empty gun.
It's an empty gun. It is an empty.
It's fine.
Gun.
It's a film prop.
It is a film prop, but it's
Yeah.
a real gun.
if there were bullets in it, it would shoot people. Yes. And this is all day for night. Basically, also what happened with this wide shot that you're seeing, that's the only shot that we had because we lost all the footage on the secondary camera that we shot. So that's the magic of 4K, is that you're able to zoom in that much and still have it hold detail.
That's good.
Yeah, it's all the cuts are just
Especially when you're
manufactured.
shooting a movie in 4 days.
Right.
You
So
need
when
that. You know what I mean?
When you were saying the original idea was just them forever until the end, with this you added then, or did they still take
no,
this
they
break?
still did have the smoke break.
Oh,
'Cause I
okay.
did want to break it up a little bit.
Okay,
Just
okay.
like, and it would have just been much more. I mean, we'd only be shooting the bar, so we'd be shooting the bar for like we probably would have shot in there 2 to 3 days, and there was a lot more room for improvisation. Where right now there's only like 1 or 2 lines that aren't in the actual script. Because I did want them to kind of riff.
I mean,
on,
yeah.
the things they're talking
You
about.
really, I know you say it's like My Dinner with Andre, but My Dinner with Andre is literally one scene.
Yeah. Right.
Where at least you break it up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I
Like,
have to. I
yeah,
mean, it
you
just
have to.
modern audiences aren't gonna. They're
You
not.
couldn't
gonna
really
deal with that.
remake My Dinner with Andre now. No
No.
one wants to watch that.
No, it's bad enough that I'm making I wouldn't really call it a mumblecore horror movie, but I mean it's like
It's definitely not
Somebody-
mumblecore, dude. It's not mumblecore.
somebody called it like if Kevin Smith made a slasher movie, just like
Yeah, I can
this
see that.
this would be
I can
because
see
it's
that.
Clerks. They're the clerks talking at the bar. I mean the original pitch
90s
was-
Kevin Smith. Now,
Right, 90s Kevin
I mean,
Smith.
after what he's been doing
Right.
lately, yeah.
Right.
But no,
There are
Yoga
there are
Hosers looks insane.
yeah, crazy
Yeah.
bratwurst Nazis
Bratzies.
in this.
But yeah, I can see that. If you put this in black and white, and
Sure.
yeah, a Kevin Smith movie isn't too far off.
Which not a bad compliment.
No, it's fine. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean the original pitch was it's Michael Myers and Dr. Loomis at a bar.
right.
It's just like the wolf and the sheepdog from the Warner Brother cartoons. They've just punched out, and this is what happens after.
That's
they
the
punch
first
out.
thing you said to me about the movie.
right?
Is the wolf and the sheepdog thing.
And the brotherly thing just came naturally from the script as I developed the characters. It just like didn't really make sense that like why would they stick together 30 years later.
Right.
It's like even Donald Pleasance had to he's like I'm just gonna die. I can't do this anymore. After Halloween 6. It's just like no more. Paul Rudd, you've
All
got
right.
this.
Yeah.
And then Paul Rudd dropped the fucking ball.
Fucking Paul
It's
Rudd,
just
man.
like,
He ruins everything,
it
you know?
is.
He just ruins everything.
That's
he's
why
in.
Civil War was such a flop.
right.
Piece of shit.
Didn't make a
true.
single cent.
No money at all.
What are you doing, Paul Rudd?
Get him
Overnight
out of
delivery.
Hollywood.
Those were that's the
That's
best.
his.
Yeah,
that's
he peaked
gravy
in
time.
overnight delivery.
And sales of Mac and Me has gone up exponentially. Since
Probably
he's come
more
on the
like
scene.
YouTube views of Mac and Me.
Right.
No one's watching that movie based on
true.
Conan.
It's true. We only locked ourselves in this cell once. It is that small. Like, this is definitely the most
You're just
tense.
like against the wall.
Yeah, out of everything that we did, this was the most tense because we had no space to move or breathe. We're standing on the bench. The camera's
Widest lens.
The camera's 50 pounds. It's not.
The camera weighs 50
That
pounds.
thing is fucking heavy. Maybe not 50, but it's at least 20 or 30 pounds. It's a beast.
I bet.
So where the fuck has this woman been?
She just chills in the woods.
In the
Eats
woods?
berries.
I thought she was like in the heating ducts,
I just
like
assumed that
eating
she was
rats.
Okay, now in the
living
original
in-
script, like when I wrote everything, I wrote the $1 million version and the what we're actually going to be able to afford version. Yes, in the original version, she comes down from the heating ducts.
Okay.
And in the original version, it's not a barn at the beginning and end of the movie. It's a cliff that he falls down. And that's why he talks about originally. It's like I fell down a bunch of branches on the way. It's because it was just a cliff.
Yeah.
And originally, like at the spoilers, if you're watching the commentary for some dumb fucking reason, before you watch the movie, when he tears himself apart at the end of the movie, he's like actually like just reaches in, pulls himself apart while he's falling down the cliff.
Oh, okay.
Because she
like
knocks
Ninja
him down the
Turtles
cliff
3.
and he kills himself before she can kill him,
Right.
quote unquote.
I believe when you first showed me the rough cut, that was my question: was where'd she come from, Shawn?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because I was like,
she's just around.
I felt like I missed something. She just shows up. I was like, am I supposed to know who she is?
No,
Okay.
she's just.
Because it's the same thing with the other. Why can't he just live in a house when there's not people there? Like, why she could
Well, he
just
lives-
eventually have left this town by
but
now.
he lives in
Dude,
that barn.
leave.
He lives in that barn.
Okay.
That's his house. He doesn't really sleep on rocks or boulders.
Okay.
Yeah. Why? Why would he do that? That would just be.
Just so you could just like a camel put the hate, hump,
Right.
Filled with pain and stuff, just to make all the.
He's got a cot back there.
Yeah.
And she basically is just here to fill in some of the gaps. It also lets you know, because she talks about seeing them in the bar, just relaxing and chilling, lets you know that the bar and the jail are close to each other. So when the finale comes up,
It makes sense.
It makes
How
sense
they can
that-
run.
See, that's why I thought like the whole town was in on it, where she's like basically a mouse in the wall in this whole town.
that is her.
who's part of it.
She's a mouse in the wall, but she's the only one that knows because she drilled her. She basically pulled a Frankenhooker, and did the drill in the back of her head,
Okay,
so she
right.
doesn't forget.
There was
And I
there was aspects of this movie too that reminded me of Cabin in the Woods a little bit.
Yeah, and I had to be
Obviously
real
not on that
careful
level of
about it.
budget, but just because
Right.
like the whole like mysticism of it, like it's always happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. Just I don't know.
And the fact that like everybody, Cabin in the Woods has the super pot that gets everybody super
right,
loose
right.
and stupid. So basically, just the town does it itself.
Okay.
It's basically a
It's
radius.
part of the curse.
Once
Okay.
you're in there, you're stupid. Instead of super pot, which is
Great plot device.
Yeah, super pot,
right.
super pot, super plot.
And this stuff I wanted to just get real up close, and I like fly on the wall cinematography and like the camera to kind of be one of the characters in the room. So I know it's uncomfortable for some people.
It's pretty
but,
close.
Yeah.
Watching it on the big screen at the Senator, it was really
That's
close.
super claustrophobic. I liked it.
Yeah. And plus, you don't. I mean, these got to be a small room, like you said.
Right. Oh, it's
Yeah.
super small.
It's super small. Yeah. Like you can't put a long lens on this.
No. And we obviously, rehearsed it, so I knew most of their movements ahead of time. That's why I like traveling back and forth with the camera to their faces and minimal amount of cuts. I try that as much as I can with the bar. But continuity wise, yeah, it's a little bit tougher when you've got 3 people that you're dealing with. I know everybody's like, finally continuity information. If you want continuity information, let's see. Bridget's least favorite thing is that the first scene in the prison, you could see the hat that's holding the door open. Otherwise, we'd get locked in there.
No one's noticing that.
During my credit in the opening, that was actually just a promotional still. The script is clearly in the shot on the side of that picture, but it's because we rasterized it that way. You really can't tell. No, I mean, like, you know, second movie I guess we made, when we made Chainsaw Sally, we worked with local Baltimore filmmaker Mark Redfield, and I use it to this day. I call it the Redfield rule. And if you have a continuity issue in your movie and people notice it, you're not doing your job right. You know, that's seriously, I lean on that as heavily as I can. I'm just like, I'll try to fix any issue that I see when I'm editing, but it's just like, if it's a matter of saving the scene or saving the continuity, the scene will win. You know, if it's the better take will win. So
yeah, I guess that's why you got to show people that aren't involved.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's I mean, even talking to like Jimmy George, I'm just like, you know, when we watched it on the center screen, there's a lot of issues that I still had to fix that I noticed because I've watched a million times. But he's just like, I didn't notice any of that. You know, and I told him like 5 scenes where like,
I didn't notice anything you just said.
Right.
Yeah,
I've seen it 3 times.
Either.
Right.
So
yeah, I don't think there's really anything huge that's left in the final product
that you
would
notice
stick out.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, I spent a pretty intense. I mean, like, right after we shot it, I spent a month working on the rough cut, and then, you know, obviously I just worked on color correction with DJ Summit, who awesome. He was our like a grip PA boom guy on the first Chainsaw Sally movie. He does color correction in LA now, so I just sent him a drive with everything, and we both worked. That's the magic of modern technology. We both have Premiere on our computers, so he could just send me the project file, and, you know, I could just update it from here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really, and he did a great job. Because, I mean, like, the stuff, naturally, the scene is kind of green. The jail.
The light. It's because of the lighting reflecting off the.
Right.
Oops, Cardi's gonna go down.
He is gonna go down. I love it. He's still shaking. That's his go-to move, is shaking. It's great. Now we're just sitting here laughing at the movie.
Yeah,
it's like the number one sin.
That's why normal
commentary.
bonus this we don't watch the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Because then you get caught up. That is not a real gun. I think that's a pellet shooter that I got at an auction or Goodwill.
I got a question.
Okay, go.
I just thought of. Does Camp Killer, does he eat the bodies?
Mm-mm.
He doesn't?
No, this is conversation that he has.
That's true.
Because when he's talking about fucking the corpses, he's like, I'm not a monster. I don't eat them.
Oh, right.
Right.
Just fucks.
Just fucks them sometimes.
They're just piles of meat after they're
That
dead.
was,
right, so why not cook them up?
That was.
It's not like he's killing them to fuck them. It's just they're there after the fact. What are you gonna do?
I won't say who, but that was the only time, the only negative, not necessarily negative, but that was the only feedback after one of the screenings. It was just like, I wish you didn't talk about fucking the corpses so much. And it's like, well, you know, he is a monster, so, you know, it's okay. He's the bad guy. He can
also.
You're not.
I could see
can't like him.
a
He's still
sensitive
murdering
viewer
everybody.
thinking it was worse than it actually was.
Right. Well, I was sensitive.
Necrophilia isn't rape,
Oh,
right?
It's rape. You're still violating it.
I don't know,
violating
man.
a corpse.
Bob's.
No, I'm just saying it's
Is
a
the
weird
soul still in the
conversation
body?
to have.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm
it
not
is.
saying I know definitively what was
Right.
what.
I
You're
just like that you've drawn the line in your.
You're
in
raping
your
the
sand,
memory of
like-
that person by
Yeah,
violating
I mean-
the corpse. I think that's
It's
well, that's a conversation.
I feel like if you asked anybody, do you care if I fucked you after you died?
They'd
They'd
say
probably
yes.
say yes.
Right,
So like,
right.
unless you have written consent.
I think Carlin
that
did a
you
bit on that.
can
They're just
do
like,
it.
I don't care what you do.
would,
dead.
would-
Well,
I
What do
feel
I
it
care?
could the
You
argument
gotta
be
put it
made?
out
I'm
there,
not
though.
making the argument, but could the argument be made that it's still victimless though?
I guess.
Dude, I'm not. No, because
You
it's
can't say stuff like
Right.
this.
We just did though.
You're just trying to get me to say it's okay for you to fuck a dead person. Right?
no
You're like,
him,
well,
the character.
okay.
I mean, I was
It's
more
not
sensitive.
okay at all. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's never okay.
I was more sensitive script-wise about the Jewish stuff. I'm Jewish, you know, which a lot of people
Right.
don't realize because of Jones, you know. But like the whole talking about slicing people up like bacon and stuff like that. It's like I purposely had Jimmy say something super offensive and have Davey say, "No, what the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah.
To kind of like lighten it up. But like when he first says it, I'm just like, my Judar goes off, and I'm just like, oh man, did I just step over a line? And like I probably did, but I'm just like, I think I get back over it far enough.
Yeah. Well, that character kind of exists to step over lines. That's the point of that, right?
Well,
Freddy. Look at Freddy. I mean, Freddy. His whole existence should be disgusting, and yet he became like a cartoon.
Sure,
everyone's rooting for him to kill people.
Yeah,
the guy killed kids.
Yeah, he molested children and then burned them.
Right.
And everyone's like, "Yeah, Freddy just made a quip." It's like, you can't be for him.
Right.
Yeah, I love Freddy. He's my favorite part of the movie. He's like, Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah.
And just as a note, I'm more of as much as this is a homage to like Friday the 13th and stuff, I'm more of a Freddy guy myself, and that's why the heroine is Tina Wilcox. Lisa Wilcox was Alice.
Right.
In Nightmare on Elm Street 4, and that's why the other girl is Alice. So
okay.
But eventually, Friday the 13th is brought down by Nightmare on Elm Street, just as it should be. Shh.
No, it makes sense though because Friday is more base.
Right.
It really is. Like Jason's always been more base.
I didn't care
Freddy's
as
more
much.
complex.
Yeah. And I'm sure people are gonna like burn their discs as soon as they hear me say this. But it's like, as a kid, I didn't really like Friday the 13th because it was just dumb. But it's like
it's just people dying and
when you get older, you realize it's supposed to be dumb. That's why it's fun. Is because it's just like you turn your brain off. You enjoy the technical aspects of the movie and like the artistry of the special effects. And just like how they were making these movies by the seat of their pants because Paramount never gave them any money, so they're just like they're basically just making it up as they go along. You know? It's just like they're great in that way. Same with Elm Street to an extent, but I mean, like
I feel like there's way more thought.
Elm Street had more imagination to it because
that's why
he's
gonna
be a snake monster.
Even
worm
the
thing comes through the floor.
But even the dumb ones are crazy enough that like you still had to think really crazy stuff up. You know what I mean?
Right.
For Freddy.
No, they had to get super elaborate. Like 5 is probably the worst. Yet you still have like that crazy motorcycle kill.
Yeah,
you know.
But there's ideas.
That scene's fucking nuts.
There's ideas in the Freddy movies that I feel like they transcend anything in the Friday movies. You know?
Sure.
Like the way that Freddy was birthed and stuff. Like that's in like 4, right?
5.
That's at 5. Okay, even though the movie's not.
Oh, you're talking about Resurrected. Because in 4, the resurrection's great because the dog Jason.
No, I'm talking about like just the story of like his birth. How
yes,
the
that's
nun,
5. That's
and she's
5.
in prison and all
that.
Yeah.
They tell the story in 3, but you see it in 5.
You see it in 5, right? And I was just like, well, that's just like the idea of him.
Right.
That backstory just became huge, you know.
And
Jason doesn't really have that as much.
And they're trying that, I think, with the new one.
Before one of the scripts for Freddy vs. Jason to like tie their universes together,
so
there was
bad.
a proposition to have Freddy have molested Jason.
Yeah, Jason.
It's gonna be awesome. I mean, that's just fucking crazy.
Don't bring that in there.
That's just so crazy. Like,
I prefer
who the hell stood up in a boardroom and asked, maybe he fucked them, maybe diddled them before they drowned him in that lake for being a retard. Maybe. John, you're fired. Get the fuck out of here.
Right. Yeah, no, that was
I would prefer the Pinhead ending.
Right.
Yeah.
Come on.
And I would have preferred the Ash, the sequel to Ash.
Yeah.
You know, like that would have been awesome.
And then Chucky versus Jaws.
Oh no.
Come on. That's the most insane idea that ever happened.
It would be awesome.
If a studio funded that movie.
They could. Universal owns both those properties. It could happen any time.
Sorry, we're
Chucky on like a toy boat trying to fight this fucking shark. It'd be awesome.
Just sneaking back to the movie for a second.
Oh, you know, let's go
No, I'm
back.
sorry. We're talking about
no.
Jaws eating toy monsters.
It's fine. It's important. People need to know.
Well, we're talking about 80s slashers. I mean,
right. This scene, this is my proudest break as far as setting things up. The darts.
The darts scene.
Just adding the darts to the scene makes the scene. It just adds an intensity to it. And the fact that James only misses like 3 throws, you know, we leave those in there obviously because I don't know anybody that throws darts for 10 minutes and doesn't miss a couple of shots.
I want to make a criticism of this scene.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I do like the scene. It was the first thing you ever showed me. But my criticism is the dartboard is not a cork dartboard.
No, it's a plastic dartboard.
It's a plastic dartboard.
The one he used. It's the same one he used.
I know.
On
I
set.
believe you. I was just like, is he using a plastic dartboard?
That's what they have at bars now.
I don't know. I've never played darts at bars.
2016. No, I mean also like he's throwing darts at the crew because keep in mind the dartboard's
That's
where the
true.
camera is and the boom mic is, so we would have lost several. By several, I mean the only 2 crew members.
Nick Baldwin.
Yeah, Nick and Noah would have been toast. And
Yeah,
Nick did
just hide behind
just
a
such a
piece
good
of
job
plywood.
at lighting this stuff.
No, yeah, the lighting's great.
And yeah, he gives the bar and the woods their own personality. So that's again important when you're dealing with so few locations. Everything's got to have its own kind of flavor. Otherwise, it's really super bland, and that is not good for anybody. And the pull focus and all that kind of fun stuff that I enjoy, because it's really hard. Like Jimmy will complain is like it's hard for a director to act in somebody else's movie. As a cinematographer, it's really hard as a director to let Nick be and do his job. It's like there are probably like 3 times where I'm just like, no, I need that framed a little bit differently. But like mostly I could just let him. I trusted him enough after seeing his work on Call Girl to do what he does, and just let him roll with it. Plus it helps that I was able to like get the outlet of having the jail to myself,
That's
to
right.
shoot that stuff. And I mean. Yes, we're talking about credits that I'm like tired of seeing my name on the screen. I don't.
Right.
This is the only place you're gonna know that I shot the jail stuff in the movie.
It's not in the credits at all, like a second unit.
I think
credit?
I think I may put cameras, and put my name. But I
okay.
mean, like, I get tired of looking at my own fucking name. When you're doing independent movies.
Put Skyfather as your cameraman.
Skyfather, right? Well, bonus disc for you there.
Often, and I may even go back and change the credits to add this. My pseudonym is Fnid Holgemeyer. Like you'll see, like
Fnid
Holgemeyer is like it's an old camp joke. It was somebody else. I wasn't even the original Fnid Holgemeyer, but I just I like it and I kept it. Whenever
your
I
Alan
I
Smithy?
get tired of looking at my fucking name, I put Fnid Holgemeyer up there.
It's a really weird name. Finid, F-I-N-E-D.
FNID. Yeah,
Jeez.
Holgemeyer.
Finid.
And if anybody's wondering where my director's cameo is, that's the hookah scene that we talked about before, which is the only place that I play. Because I played David Lightfoot in the original Dumb Shorts, so that's where I played David Lightfoot in this version.
You're gonna be? Is that gonna be on the extras? The original?
It might be.
You got
we
to.
don't.
Yeah,
Well,
why
we don't know
wouldn't
all
you?
the. We don't know all the kids anymore, so it's just like I'll probably put it. I'll at least put it on the Blu-ray that I'm giving to the backers. Because we can't.
Put that like
can't hurt.
the
Yeah.
fancy LA cut that you showed me.
Oh yeah.
Put that up there. I mean, it's on YouTube, right?
Right. Oh yeah. It's on YouTube,
Dude,
But once you're
that's
making like
money
I can give it to
from
the
it?
backers, but once I'm making money on it, that's when.
All right.
I mean, we could also just blur somebody's face out if we.
You
need
paid
to.
all those kids off already.
Yeah.
Oh sure, and fake blood and boredom.
So much boredom.
Right.
Well, I guess
love Jimmy in this scene. He's just like he's exhausted. He's done, and we still have.
I'm just gonna drink myself to
And
sleep.
we
kinda-
still have
dude,
8 hour.
You kind of made a movie about tired people.
Yeah,
That's kind of what you did. Everyone's just
it's the
tired.
key. Well, wouldn't you be? It's like
Yeah.
They've already gone through the whole horror movie, so it's just like this is them
time
trying
for
to
a
wind
nap.
down before a nap.
Nap time.
And nobody gets the nap. That's the thing. It's like nobody gets the nap. I love.
Make a third one or the second one called Camp Killer Nap Time.
Right. I'll tell you. Hold on. One thing, and I'll tell you the sequel concept if anybody cares about that. But as far as the nap time stuff, I love how when Melissa is axing him at the end, I have that long take of her just like kind of like panting for a second because she's been cutting away with the axe for a minute. It's like you never see that. You just see like people with an axe. And they're just like, oh, this is great. Axe. It's
and
like,
then they
no,
go one huff, like
she's been, right.
done.
I just like that, like 10 seconds of her just kind of like, just kind of gathering herself. That's
Hacking
the
up
only
a body
realism.
takes it
Here
out
they
of
go
you.
talking about corpse fucking. The sequel idea would just be April and Melissa. They talk here about what would you do in retirement, and it's like, oh, you just get people with the legend. You'd have a bunch of music festivals and stuff. Well, they would have a NAMBLA convention, and they just take care of all 666 in one weekend.
Jesus.
That would be the sequel.
That's awesome.
And if you look at the numbers a certain way, things can be skewed to the point to where the two of them would be trying to stop them.
Okay.
so they wouldn't get the numbers.
So wait, do they fail? Because the quota gets hit, but
Quota gets hit.
it's hazy if they're part of the.
It's purposely
quota or not.
hazy. You can look at it a couple of ways, because if we ever do want to do another one,
Need to
people
have that
will
option.
definitely want to see them in it. It would focus on the girls, but they would definitely be involved on the side.
Would April's character still be alive?
But she's alive at the end
That's true. She is.
because she went through the pact.
Yeah.
Right. The pact. All right.
So when she made that handshake, that's why she's also rubbing her neck at the end. Really for two reasons: one, we didn't have time to redo the effect, and two, the wound isn't there anymore, so
Right.
she's
Healed.
Right.
Because she's the crazy one and Melissa's the
Right.
straight one.
I like how you just admitted you want to make a Nambla movie.
Yeah.
Like, you realize you'd have to shoot stuff to establish that it's Nambla. Like, even though you're going to kill all
Well,
of
you
them.
just have a banner,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. In
I
80
just-
minutes of murdering
it's just,
Nambla members.
Like Chris Hansen's the final girl. Like he shows
Oh
up
my god.
Yeah.
to try to bust people, but he he lives to tell the tale of the Nambla murder.
You're just saying goodbye to the
Yes.
80s slasher
Right.
like homage
Yeah.
completely.
Oh no, the sequel would just be murder for
Yeah.
90 minutes. That one would be 90 minutes. That would be 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So we could get all the
That's the Michael Bay horror movie there.
right.
Yeah.
And this stuff, it was difficult getting the day for night. I didn't want it to be too blue because that's sort of like the go-to. So we tried for like a little bit of a muted tone for it.
It's always hard to do that.
It's such a fine line, but
It's kind of crazy actually in like with new horror movies because of how good video quality is. Like I forgot I was watching like The Relic the other day and it's just so black. It's just so fucking the movie's shitty, but it's so black that I was like, this looks cool. Like, but it's like it's really hard now to like find a good way to make something look dark,
right.
without it actually being dark. You know what I mean? I don't know. But all I do is watch VHS tapes. What the fuck do I know? I can't. That's all I want to see is like an almost black
Yeah,
screen.
watching Laserdisc and VHS.
Yeah. It's that weird dichotomy where it's like I feel like stuff just looks better when it looks shittier now.
Right.
Some of it, yeah.
Stuff looks so good
Stuff
now.
like in horror movies,
Yeah.
definitely. Like
Well, there's something
how
comforting
everything washes out to
about
black,
watching
like,
stuff the
helps.
way we remember it looking growing up.
Right. Also, it
That's
removes all like it just removes all problems. Like if something is like just degraded, then you don't question. You're not looking for anything but the content anymore.
Yeah.
Well, like if
That's
there's
true.
shitty CGI, I mean, if you're talking about, well, seriously, but if you're looking at, on a VHS, the mats look better. You're not seeing scan lines around stuff.
Yeah.
Just like if it's a straight digital master off the inner positive, you might still see that stuff.
Yeah.
We're watching Batteries Not Included last night, and there's some scenes where it looks great, and there's other scenes where you can totally tell they're optical mats.
Right.
Thankfully, there are no optical mats here.
No.
Just poor Mr. Lehman being thrown around
So-
like a rag doll.
With knowing who he is at the end of the movie, why does he go through with this with them?
Because he wants to set them up.
Because he's bored too.
He knows that they're about to finish their run, so he wants to make sure that he has another
something
pair.
else. Oh, okay.
He's just arranging for the future. And as far as stuff that people don't notice, obviously the bar. This is full on daytime, and every once in a while a car or a person will pass that window. Only during this scene, obviously, because it's the only time that we needed any of that angle. I love this. It's just such a quick
Say
shot.
goodbye to your hand.
You can't see that like the effect. The prosthetic is missing a thumb, but it's so quick that it doesn't matter. That's a reverse shot with a little bit of CGI added by Bob.
Just a little bit of blood.
Just a little bit. And it's so quick, and it's just like the other thing that you did where with the the gunshots here. It's all the spray that you did is still there, but it's just muted, so you just see the impact on his jacket instead of blood just everywhere. Now, this is something I'm surprised nobody calls me out on. Is like personally, there are 2 times that like Davey just kind of like decides to take the harder way out. Like he could totally just continue to advance on her there when the gun starts clicking, but he's just like, oh, I better get my brother out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, his brother's not immortal, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why. But I mean,
yeah.
there's like that pause where it's just like, well, why didn't he go hop on her? Just like, and the same thing at the end when they're just sitting there watching him die for a minute. He totally had the opportunity to kill her. There's no reason that.
See, what I thought was going to go on at this point was because I wouldn't have complained about that, because what I thought was going to happen when I first watched it was she was going to kill them for the last two,
Right.
and then, or no, she was going to kill them with that other woman dying, which would put it over, and they said they had to hit it
Right.
exactly, and I thought she was going to have killed them, gone over the 6, and then have to take it over.
Well,
and
that's
restart.
the loophole.
Well, yeah. So I thought like the reason he didn't advance on her was because that was the part where she became the bad guy now,
Right.
sort of, where she's going to be, where at the end would be a bad guy, but currently a good guy while she's chasing him down like this.
Yeah.
Not to invoke it again, but sort of like a twist like Tucker and Dale, right? Where the good guy turns out to be the bad guy at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of thing. That's what you're assuming was going to happen?
Yeah, that's what
Like she would become...
that she was going to have to
can't
take
kill her?
over the curse because she had killed the two people who were doing
I mean,
it.
she still has to take
and
over
they
the
went over
curse.
the number.
Well, she
Yeah.
doesn't have to. She could say no at the end. You don't really see her response. I'm a big fan of like
Who's powering the curse, Shawn? Is it Christ?
Who?
Never
Yeah,
heard
right.
of the guy.
Right.
Yeah. Or I would say like, yeah. What's the power behind it?
Is it the
It's not-
devil?
it doesn't
It is
matter.
just the devil.
It's
I
the
mean,
devil, yeah.
Yeah, Joe's the devil, and he just fucks with this town.
So is it just his talent? That's why I asked if like he's bored with it. Like if he's there all the time, or does he have? Is it?
No, I mean whenever
Has
they're
he got
not-
this cooking all over a couple different places?
whenever they're not in the bar, yeah, he does whatever he does wherever. But
Like, does he just show up and break Michael Myers out of the prison
Right.
every time? Like, is he
Yeah.
the reason he gets out of prison all the time?
It could be. I mean, I don't quite dive that deep into him. But yeah,
Okay.
he could
Yeah, you don't
be-
need the specifics. You
When
just feel like
he's-
he's always on his side.
when
He's
when
been
they're
on
not-
his side for 30
Damn it,
years.
Shawn! You're creating a universe, and I have questions.
This is the new MCU.
Sorry.
No, it's perfectly all right. This is my favorite line, which like they hated this line, the crow line.
Oh man,
My
yeah.
crow. I love it. I love it.
You're a big Crow fan.
I'm a
It's
big
gonna
Crow fan.
happen.
There's previous
Has to
episodes
be
of
in there
bonus disc
somewhere.
that people listening to this commentary should seek out.
The first
Yeah,
episode.
You can
Wicked
find out
Prayer.
the very first episode.
of-
I
yeah.
love that fucking movie.
Rave and Fest.
I watched it like 3 times. It's
Yeah.
great.
Great.
That'll be the sequel. It'll just be Raven Fest. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not Nambla. It's Raven Fest.
Rave and Fest. Real broad joke. Everyone's gonna get it.
Yeah. Oh, there's so much like the Annette Funicello jokes that I'm like, I wrote in the script.
There's some
I'm just
pretty
like,
fucking narrow, like targeted jokes in this movie.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I mean, like that joke, especially. Like I put it in the script, and every time I read through it, I'm just like, you should put something else there because this joke is ridiculous, and like it never got changed. It just went through.
Well,
every
you're
single
making it
version.
for a kind of a selected fan
Sure,
base anyway.
sure.
So
I mean, there's that joke. There's the Mr. Frost reference that like nobody is going to get the Mr. Frost reference, the Gagamemboo reference. You know,
What is
just
this?
like when she asks, "Is it the devil?" She's like, "I don't know who the Gagamemboo." It's a line from Mr. Frost.
Okay.
Jeff Goldblum is the devil. It's
Okay,
one of my
okay.
favorite horror movies, but
I've never seen that.
it's super obscure and it's never been released properly. After
I watched.
VHS.
I've seen it at your house. You
Yeah,
showed it to
yeah.
me. It's awesome.
Oh, it's great. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's great.
basically
It's
it's
like-
it's psychiatrists trying to convince the devil that he doesn't exist.
Yeah. If you like
Okay.
Goldblum, it's
And that's
perfect.
definitely inspiration on the conversations in this movie.
And this is good. This is something I've never seen before. The sprinkler head kill.
Oh yeah, I love the sprinkler, and
Which got
Victor and Rio pulled that off great. Yeah,
which I thought at the premiere got a huge response.
Right.
It
Yeah.
really did.
I really do love, and like people will be like, well, why does it go on so long? Why do they just sit there watching it? It's like, why wouldn't you? Like, what are you how are you gonna react to that? You know, It's
Yeah.
like, she's killed him, and he's his brother's dying in front of him, so he's frozen for a second. And this barn is
I
great.
mean, you want like stuff like that moment to be sort of funny, right?
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing that I've added since the premiere in this scene is like there's
much
just gonna be
fun.
more
So much.
more of a
dude.
hit to when she's hitting him with the axe.
I wish it was set to.
Right. That was in the script. That's exactly what it was gonna do. But like, come on, like for our budget, that's a pretty slick effect.
No, it's good.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, originally it was gonna be the going back and forth with the. Yeah. That's why he says set it to spread.
Yeah.
No, it's totally. It's an over the top blood effect,
Right,
like
right.
Kill Bill getting their head chopped off, or like the wall in Evil Dead 2.
Right. And I don't have a lot of that. Like we did shoot when Pat gets decapitated a little bit longer of a like the body's burning blood, but this just isn't that type of movie, and he's got to start chasing her immediately. So there's no way to justify sitting there watching that blood spray.
You kind of you're kind of tricking people because honestly, with the mask, the image, like Jimmy's poster, the name. Everything says this is gonna be a fucking, it's
like
gonna be gore and tits,
80s,
man.
Yeah. And there is gore and there is
those things,
tits,
but it's not that movie at all.
Right. Because that's certainly not the kind of movie that I'm really interested in making.
No.
I
would think anyone that knows you would think like, no.
Right. There's 100 of that movie. You know, just like that's. Yeah.
I think there's a little bit more than 100.
Right. Yeah, there is. I love Jimmy's penguin from Batman Returns moment here.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm thinking of when he rises. Yeah.
Cold water.
Yeah, right. And we watched the blood spray lunch for another hour.
Yeah.
Now there's a thing. One pickup that we thought we would have to do is we never got the shot of James pushing the sprinkler in. So when you do see that, it's really just a super close up of her pushing the sprinkler in right there. It's just the same shot twice. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, the whole movie's ruined now.
You didn't know.
Yeah, the first one happened so fast.
Right. Well, that's why. Anything that happens fast, that means that like the effect wasn't quite there, and I just want you to use your imagination. It's like,
are you going to be selling Camp Woonga shirts?
Maybe. I don't know. Those I made myself, so.
I mean, they're not black, so
No.
already I'm out.
Right. Right. Well, you got your. No, you didn't. We had to give you'll get a shirt eventually.
I'm just kidding, man.
The next run when we do a red run. And I did like the fact that like Mr. Lehman's persona is that black,
He kind of looks like Jason,
rock and roll
right there.
biker,
a little bit like Jason in that shot.
Right. But I'm like, you know what? You're the devil. Why don't you wear the clothes that you're comfortable in for this last shot? And it's just like it's so quick, and people are like, "What the fuck happened anyway?" So that is Camp Killer. It's done.
Yeah.
Any more questions while the credits roll up? And just one thing to quickly mention, two things. One, the opening theme during the opening credits by Bobby Cole. I found it on Audio Blocks, and I love it so much that I actually reached out to the guy and got his permission to credit him, because usually you don't need to do any credits for somebody. And then here at the end credits, Chuck Mosley, original singer of Faith No More, agreed to let us use this song, which is a demo version of a song on his last album, for our end credits. So that like meant a lot, because when I was writing the script, actually I was listening to the We Care a Lot album like nonstop, because the song "Why Do You Bother" sounds like a horror movie in itself, so that
Then
really
you
drove
reached
it.
out to him to use
Yeah,
it?
I reached out to him, and then like 6 months later, when it was about 2 months before we were gonna do the premiere, I'm like, oh hey, like I see you online, and I just want to remind you, if you know anything about rights. And then he got to me, and now he butt dials me occasionally. It's awesome. It's Chuck is such a nice guy.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm
That's
really
cool
glad.
and all, but you don't have like a rap song about the movie at the end?
Yeah, I know. I thought about having a rap song about the movie, because I love Waxwork too, and I wanted to do the have the cast do the rap song and be
Oh
dancing,
man,
like during the whole credits. But no, we decided against the rap song in this case.
Yeah,
and just had somebody doing rap-ish metal,
Rap-ish.
So yeah, and I like the fact that like we're able to kind of like wink back at the credits by doing every kill that you saw in the movie again. And this is
so that's you.
That's
you.
me. And you can clearly see my wedding ring if you look really closely.
Well, a camp killer could just be married.
Yeah,
He could have been married
it's
before
true.
he
It's
became
true.
a camp killer.
And she was dead.
Yeah. I don't
He
know.
could be married. You never know.
Electricity girl.
Yeah.
Long lady.
Yeah, they love that. Apparently, like Freelander was like, oh yeah, they call me an owl, so that was like really like touching. I'm like, I didn't know.
Didn't know that was a
just
thing,
like,
huh?
And they're all of the Kickstarter backers, which is, I think it's like 156, somewhere around there. A couple people, like couples, did it. So like I used both of their names if they were a couple. I thought that was the right thing to do. And like I let Mark freaking Colgrove, and this is the only place that Timothy Faceneck lives.
Boom.
Because Bob used Timothy Faceneck as his Kickstarter name.
It's because I signed up for Kickstarter before my name changed to Bob Rose. So
thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
For listening to this commentary / episode of Bonus Disc. This
it's really
strange
me and
little
Matt
movie.
kind of watching the movie.
Right.
And you just,
I've seen
fine.
it so many times. Yeah. Like 100 more times between now and the time that you'll be receiving this disc. And of course, we put the original theme quickly. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Yeah, thanks for asking us to do it.
Yeah.
And now we could just like talk
I hope we didn't insult anything.
bonus
too much.
disc stuff. No.
We didn't insult anybody. Except, I don't know, a couple people who weren't in the room or
Right,
aren't
right.
associated
We
with
talked
the
about
movie. So
Victor fucking cats and bears.
Yeah, Victor's fine with that.
Victor will be okay with that.
He's a
yeah, like I basically, I didn't want John to feel bad. I didn't want like anybody like trashing Zaccardi or something like that. It's like be more sensitive about these things.
That's fine, yeah.
That's why I'm in the room. You could just talk about all the dumb shit I did during the course of the film.
It's fine. I'm still. Can we stop recording?
Hey,
We can keep talking.
We keep talking. This is bonus. This is bonus information for people
Yeah, it
listening
doesn't
to the
matter
episode.
now. I mean, you can keep talking. Do you have anything to say, Matt?
So wait, so
Final thoughts.
Final thought, Matt.
Final thoughts, I liked it a lot. It wasn't anything. It's not what I expected, but that's fine because it wasn't.
I think you're gonna get a lot of that though. Not what I expected. You know?
Oh yeah. I mean, like the whole concept of the film is pulling the rug out from under you. It's just like I've had one of the two reviews that we've had. One of the reviews is like glowing and hits every single mark that I'd want them to hit.
Yeah.
The other review was exactly what I expected. It was somebody that was more of a Friday the 13th fan. Was just like, it was a little wordy for me, but I like the stuff. Well, it is. I mean, it's just
it is. It's just so funny. I just don't know how you can't understand once the entire run of a horror movie already occurred to not realize that you're not then just going to watch a longer one of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, who the fuck would watch that, see the title, and then go, all right, now settled in for the longer version of that again?
right.
You know what I mean?
Start
I
from
don't know.
scratch. But nobody expects to see them chilling out at a bar either. So it goes
That's
both
the weirdest
ways.
aspect of the movie, probably.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because
But it
it's
makes
not.
sense,
Their life is hectic when the shit is going on, but it's not. It would be boring as piss.
It's a behind the scenes movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What happens after?
Exactly. Which, again, hasn't been done, so I'm glad to do it.
It's
That
kind of
was-
like it's like it's a movie where if it was a sitcom, it's the episode where they get stuck in a freezer.
Right. Yeah.
And
no, totally.
Then
Is.
they like remember that time? Yeah, it's that. It's the clip show.
Right. Right. It is the clip show.
It's the
That's-
clip show,
I
yeah.
mean, that's exactly how you keep the audience. It's such a delicate balance, like some people be like it was a perfect balance, and some people be like, no, fuck you, it's boring as fuck. Why do they talk so much?
Yeah,
but
what
it's
do you
like,
do?
but that's why the
Yeah.
flashback kills and stuff, and that's I think the prison when you flashback to the prison, that's more a traditional. That could happen in a Friday the 13th movie.
That's
you could,
more
you
of
could have a character.
That's the movie part of this movie.
Yeah, right.
It really is.
You could have a Tommy Jarvis,
Yeah.
in the jail, and that's where the Friday the 13th Part 6 comes from, is all the jail humor. Which, more horror movies need jail humor.
Yeah. Well, that jail.
Where the doc goes, you bang, kind of stuff.
Well, that incarceration.
It's funny
Yeah.
shit.
What?
Imprisonment. It's hilarious.
Right.
It's great. It's great. My favorite thing.
Right.
I love it. I wish I would just get arrested already.
Go
I
to-
go around breaking all these laws.
Go,
and
go to
like,
Havre de Grace. They've got some empty cells for you.
fair enough.
Yeah, you can arrest yourself, man.
Right.
Yeah,
You'd be like,
Make
I'm
your
turning-
own destiny.
I'm turning myself in.
Yeah, I'll just sneak in during shift change and lock myself in one of those things.
I can go to jail without committing crimes. Awesome.
Sweet.
Is smoking pot legal here? Oh, you better lock me up, man. I reek of it right now.
Are you doing a normal commentary too?
I might.
Because you just gave a lot of information.
I think I gave enough information.
gonna
right
say,
here,
man.
just like, I mean, what I'll probably do is if and when we get distribution, I'll probably have the cast and
Cats
out
do
to the
one.
house and do a full commentary. I might do a pick it apart piece by piece, every single reference kind of commentary, but I don't know. That would be kind of boring. I think that's why I thought this would be fun. Just like
Yeah.
it's better to have a moderator
than anything else.
Right.
All right. Well, you can cut this off when we say goodbye. All that stuff.
Oh yeah. That's definitely.
Yeah,
I'm going to cut
okay.
it off. This is the end of the episode of Bonus Disc, I guess.
Yeah, but thanks for listening.
Right.
Like Matt, we could do this for other stuff. I don't.
Yeah.
To me, it's weird. Like we're talking about it.
Right.
Watching the movie and then talking about it is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
think
you're
the
remembering
reflection
and you
makes
can
it funnier. That's
You can misremember something.
Yeah, you can misremember
So like we're
things.
looking at it. So
but it also is distracting to
Right.
my attention's being
a
split.
couple of times we're like paused for a second. But
Right,
We didn't
yeah.
pause for too long at any point.
No.
No. But as far as like bonus disc, I'm glad we do it the way we do normally.
Right.
Oh yeah. Well, sometimes the humor, nothing's funny until you've explained why. You know what I mean? Sometimes something weird
Right.
happens, but then a funnier joke will come out of knowing everything about that weird thing that happened
And you
instead
need
of
to
what
see
you would
it-
have said at the moment.
You just see it from the sky.
Yeah.
Right.
You just see all the pieces of the movie and realize
Skyfather. You know, Skyfather.
That's why the Skyfather is the best fucking
Cinematographer
that ever
cameraman.
lived.
Yeah, he's-
But once you see all those pieces of a movie together, and then you can see maybe this is fucked up, or this makes no sense.
Yeah.
This is completely insane. But when you're watching it, like picking apart scenes, like you could do that with any movie. You know?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Not that that's what this was. It's just like it made me realize how distracted I get when a screen is showing me something.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's probably
Yeah.
easier for me to just like run a timer and just like,
Just talk.
Yeah. But I mean, like if I were doing more scene specific, and now people are just like, you just said you were ending the episode, but like
they can stop listening.
they have.
Yeah.
I definitely like call out, every actor individually. It's like Sam and Bob. It's the reason their characters work is that they're married, so like their chemistry is real.
Yeah,
and,
right.
Stuff like that. And
They were
Jackie's
really having
awesome.
sex.
They were really having sex. No, they
Dude,
were
that
not.
shit was
Bob was
hot.
freezing his shit, man, because it was like a cold September night.
Yeah.
And he's naked, covered in fake blood. It's
He had
like,
pants
that's-
on though, right?
It's some points. He did not have pants during
Really?
the sex part. He
There
had
was full
underwear.
penetration. Did you not notice
Yeah,
that?
They're married.
You'll see it in 4K. Don't worry.
Right. Yeah, this 1080p cut.
That's why
you know,
Shawn did this, so he could have that video of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, this is 720, I think.
This whole
we just
thing
watched.
is he was like, I want to see these two people fuck. When
Right.
I
How
was
do I
13.
Right.
How do I
He was
do
like,
this?
Did you
How
even
do I
know that
pull it
back
off?
then? Probably not.
I
Did I know them? No,
I
I
gotta
know
raise
them. They're from-
$10,000 to
They were
people
both
fuck.
in Chainsaw Sally stuff. Like
Oh, okay,
Bob
okay.
was in the Groundhog Day special, and Sam was in the first and second season, but she was more in the first season as a character. She was a reporter in the second season.
Does this take place in that universe?
No,
No.
no,
None of
It's-
that.
they can't possibly. Yeah. It's just
Well, the people
it
look the
would
same.
contradict. Yeah.
Yeah.
But one cool thing for our listeners here is that Chainsaw Sally season 2 is now available on YouTube. You could just watch it
Free.
for free, which it is awesome. It's definitely one of the cooler things that we've done. It's high concept and pretty slick looking, because that's like the third high definition thing that we shot, so we pretty much knew what we were doing at that point,
Right.
except for green screen. The green screen is terrible, and it's all my fault. It's all
And
my
it's
fault.
not. It's your fault.
No, it's all my fault.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I did not know what I was doing. Like,
You-
I wish I could go and
You Neil
redo
Breened it.
I would. It's worse than Neil Breen, because there's like
Oh my god!
it was before like we had these newer filters and auto luma, so there's definitely scenes where like hair is like thinner because like I was trying to get the green out.
Right.
And yeah.
Hey, you know what? As somebody who I feel like a lot of people in our community associate with green screen, obviously,
Mhm.
it annoys me how much everyone's like, you can do this, right? And I'm like, no, I can't. Like,
Right.
why? And I'm like, because everything you've ever seen me do is silly. It doesn't need to look real.
Yeah, you want me to
You're
do
shooting.
some-
I saw the scenes that you're talking about in Chainsaw Sally.
Right.
You wanted them to look like real scenes.
Right.
I wouldn't do that because I know I can't do that, and it doesn't. And to me, green screen never looks right. Even in
Right.
Hollywood movies, sometimes I'm like, it doesn't look good, So it's funny to me that everyone assumes that I'm like this master of green screen, but I
Sure.
never have used it for any practical reason.
Well,
No, yeah.
It's always to be silly. It's never.
But then it doesn't matter.
when I was
why.
making those
It
dumb
looking shitty is funny.
right.
That's
in
why I do
itself,
stuff
yeah.
most of the time like I do.
when I was doing those dumb things for Bump Fest with that, like the dancing girl and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was
Dude, I
like-
loved them. I love those things.
I really enjoyed making them, but it was just like I was like pissed almost at how easy it was to green screen her into things. So it was just like this was so hard 5 years ago to do this.
Dude, it's so
And
easy.
Just, now it's just 2 button clicks.
Me putting the Bump Fest poster in Ghostbusters 2 was
Right.
like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
All I had to do was attract the camera. Because in After Effects, it can just track where your camera was. And then you just hook anything to that.
The future is wonderful.
Insane. I was like, it would take me so long to do that 5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
All right,
whatever.
Well, now that we put the audience to sleep.
Oh, no one's listening to this.
Everybody go buy a green screen. It's so super easy now.
Become a
Yeah.
filmmaker. You just
Yeah.
film everything on a green screen.
Just do it with your
the
phone.
whole thing.
Do it with your phone.
Your iPhone 4S.
Handheld with your phone.
Yes. Fuck yeah. I hope all movies are like that.
You're
Steven
a monster.
Spielberg. Isn't he making another Indiana Jones handheld? all green
Handheld
screen?
cell
All
phone
handheld
green
cell phone.
screen.
Fuck yeah.
Oh,
God.
the phone says it's 4K.
I'd watch it.
I'm not afraid of the future at all.
A movie that was shot on a cell phone got Sundance accolades. So
Yeah. I've seen a cell phone movie before. It was
yeah,
pretty. It was
they're
all right.
fine. Yeah, I mean, the 4K.
It's
now,
so.
it's
I mean,
fine.
look at fucking Unfriended. I mean, that made it to theaters. That's
Yeah.
all shot in
Skype.
FaceTime.
literally.
I'm
shot with
honest
Skype.
because I hated it. I thought it was fucking stupid.
I did not
I
like
thought
it that
pretty
much,
dumb. Yeah.
but
we had
I liked the fact that somebody did it
For
and
some
I was like,
reason,
it was edited well.
There was a family in front of us that brought their 8-year-old child to see it,
Oh,
and that made the
jeez.
movie worth watching. Because
My kid loves Skype.
The kid was just like talking back to the movie the whole time, like in a way that, like, as an adult, you realize you can't quite do. And just like the kid was just like, "That's so stupid," like the whole time. It's like, all right,
that would be helpful.
That made
I
it.
was just watching it like, it's so boring. Oh my god. I don't know.
It didn't. Whatever.
Teenager drama is just so uninteresting to me that like
Right.
just watching a whole movie of it,
Yes.
teenagers talking to each other about problems. I was like, I'm so not
And
interested
then
in this.
the main plot point of how they humiliated her was so dumb.
Yeah, oh, crazy.
Oh,
I
so-
thought she got like
so
raped on
stupid.
film or
No,
something when she
it-
pooped her pants. Come on. That right
She-
from
She
I
pooped
lost
her
my
pants,
mind.
and she was so destroyed by that
that she
came
killed
back as a
herself and came
spear.
back as a ghost to kill everybody.
Yeah.
I was like, this plot is so stupid.
Yeah, it's kind of funny though that shitting your pants would incite.
All
that.
right.
What are we talking about?
We're
It's
done. We're done. The episode's over. Oh my god.
All right, thanks for listening to this episode, which is a weird one.
Camp Killer
Commentary
Unfriended
plus more.
episode. Finally,
I'm sorry that your
Title this
commentary
one
we mentioned.
Chucky versus Jaws 4.
Yeah.
That's
The
really what we
Revenge
got out of
I'm
this.
Comedy.
super glad that we got that in there.
It's okay, real quick though. Who should direct that movie? Chucky versus Jaws.
Chucky versus Jaws. I would say just get real bold to do it and just
I don't know, man.
No, I want
some
I want
good
somebody-
action
Robert
sequences.
Rodriguez.
Yeah.
He
I don't know.
can
I
handle
want
that.
someone that's legit to try to take that concept,
Oh sure.
like Scorsese or something.
That'd be too
insane.
serious.
Like, insane. No, the
John McTiernan. That's his
John-
comeback movie.
Yeah,
I don't know. If the Crank guys did it, it would probably be the greatest film ever. Jaws would be jumping over shit and flying through the air.
Nick Cage as
Oh.
Jaws.
Nick Cage is the voice of Jaws.
The voice.
I mean, I'm done.
The voice.
It would talk. Oh, it would totally talk. Come on. Chucky would have a fucking submarine. It would be the shit.
I would like to read the script that they did for was it Jaws 3 Audience Nothing?
It was Jaws 3, Audience 0.
Right.
Yeah.
The John
That's what you
Hughes.
just said.
Yeah. That's
No,
all
but
right.
the 0.
Right.
That's it. Yeah,
But John Hughes
For
wrote a fucking
Google
Jaws
searches,
3 script, and I gotta read
with
that
Joe Dante,
sometimes.
right? Joe Dante was supposed to direct it,
Yeah.
and the studio hated it.
Oh,
they
man,
did.
it's
They were
probably
trying to break.
awesome.
They were trying to break it down before anyone was doing that, and they were like, "No, we're not letting you do this."
Damn.
Because Jaws 3 is unbearable.
It's really bad.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's
I'm
so
going to see
fucking
it
bad.
at the Senator.
So am I. I'm gonna go to that. But the first one's playing 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that on
Why
the
not
big
play
screen.
2?
I think they are doing 2. I thought they
No,
were
it was
doing
just
2,
1
3.
and 3. It was.
Oh,
Is
man.
3 going to be in 3D on the screen?
Yeah.
I might have to
That's
see
why I
that
have to
then.
Oh,
see it.
dude, we have to.
Yeah, that sounds
When the
really
shark
awesome.
is coming,
Dude, fucking Mario Van Peebles or whatever.
That's
4,
4.
man.
Oh, that's 4. That's right. 4 is unbearable. That's the Michael
Yeah.
Caine. Christ.
But no, 4 is not nearly as unbearable as 3.
Really? All right. Well, now I'm more.
That's the two things that Superman, to me, a Superman franchise and Jaws franchise, is that everyone seems to hate 4 the most. But I'm like, have you watched the third ones?
See, I hate all those Superman.
I know you
movies.
do, but Superman 3 is unbearably boring. It's so unbearable. 4 is at least shit's happening.
I guess 3 is like. The only thing that saves it for me is Bad Superman is awesome.
Bad Superman's awesome, yeah.
And like the villain at the end used to scare the shit out of me. Like the woman when she gets the computer in her face.
Oh
yeah, that was. But the Richard Price stuff is so bad.
Weird fucking plot.
It's fucking Lester, man. He just cannot direct a serious movie. It's just like
I'd watch that at Center. Superman 3 and Jaws 3 double feature.
Yeah.
Oh, kill me.
But now, like,
that's awful.
Because Jaws 3 is terrible, and it's got
Dennis
Quaid.
It's not fun at all. It's so boring. It's
Jesus.
Matt, you'll love this. It's so boring.
See, that's what I thought. I was thinking of Jaws 4 because I remember that being like so dumb. Like,
yeah,
like the fucking sharks chased them half around the world. How would they know where they were going when they were in the helicopter?
Dude, the shark exploding at the end.
I mean, everything about it's incredible.
It blows up.
All right, I've got 2 choices here. For we're not recording.
No, I'm sorry. Oh. Bye. Thank you for listening to Bonus Disc.
You have just listened to Bonus Disc. Questions, comments, and movie suggestions can be posted to facebook.com/bonusdisc. Opinions and criticisms of the hosts and guests of Bonus Disc are 100% valid because they sit high atop Judgment Mountain. So quit your whining.